Hello friends, it's Laura from Cool Mom and Collected, and today we are doing, as you can tell by the title, a Q&A homeschool video. We're going to get right into the questions. Some of these were submitted by you guys, some of these were submitted by ChatGPT, so give it up for them, will you everyone? All right, let's start. First question. What inspired you to start homeschooling, and how long have you been doing it? I have been wanting to homeschool since I was very, very young. I just always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. My mother was very involved in my life, and she was my teacher at times and my principal. I think I just really saw the value of a mother and really wanted to be there for my kids, as opposed to sending them to school and having other people kind of with them a majority of the day. I actually have a video that I will link down below, and that is, why did you start homeschooling? And I think I have like 14 reasons. So if you guys want to see more, you could check out that video. What subjects or curriculum do you use for homeschooling and why? So since we do Charlotte Mason, there's a bunch of different curriculums that you can do. We did do the CMEC, the Charlotte Mason Education Center, our first year. And then we switched in our second year to Ambleside Online. Now, these are both great resources. We didn't leave CMEC because we hated it. It actually was so helpful for really guiding the parent, kind of holding their hand, providing so much additional resources for the mother teacher, which I loved, like how to better yourself as a mother teacher, workshops, all these different things, and then resources for the children right there. Like, okay, you're doing clay. Here's a bunch of clay tutorials that you're going to follow week by week. And so while I really enjoyed that kind of hand-holding, and that really opened me up to all that Charlotte Mason kind of has to offer, at some point it did become a little overwhelming for me, or maybe my life was so busy I wasn't even really able to time-wise take advantage of all of the amazing things and resources that they offered. And a lot of times this kind of left me feeling like, I'm not doing it all. And by the way, the CMEC is not free. It's $300 for the year registration, but the beautiful thing is that's for all the children in your family. So it's not like $300 for my pre-K, $300 for my 1 year, $300 for year 2. It's $300 and you have access to everything. So if you have 5 kids like me, you can literally have access for $300 to the whole website, every grade of what they expect. I would definitely still recommend the CMEC to anybody. Maybe go in with the mindset of, what can I take from here and what works best for my child, instead of seeing the outline and being like, I have to do it all, because I really tried to do it all. And at that point, it kind of felt like I was putting too much on my child, and too much to-dos for me that wasn't necessarily what was best for our family. I really enjoy Ambleside because it's very clean cut. So you can go from pre-K all the way to high school, and you can see everything that you need to do for each year, basically a play-by-play, a week-by-week. It was really the right choice for our family. So that's what we do. We do nature studies, we do composer studies, art, we do artist studies, nature studies. I really feel like the CMEC gave me so much taste, and now with Ambleside, and Ambleside is free, by the way, I'm just doing everything that works best for my child and my family. Next, how do you create a daily or weekly routine for your homeschool schedule? Well, I am a creature of habit. I love habits. I love routines. This has really been a strength for me. I mean, I can do the same thing over and over. I just love knowing what's coming, and I think children love that too. Ambleside actually has a schedule that you can print off for each year and term and weeks. You can print it off and you can know exactly what you are going to do every day. Like week 1, you might do this, week 2, all the way up to week 13 of the first term, all the way to the end. So I use this to figure out what I'm going to do. But say that there's a book that I'm not feeling, I'll cross that book out and do a different book, and I'll just substitute it all throughout. Oh, that's right here. What is this? I forgot. So basically I have what is this? I completely forgot. I have a video about this that I will link. This is my, blanking. I'm totally blanking. I have what is this? I have a homeschool logbook. This thing is amazing because I fill it with goals, reflections, our schedule all throughout the terms, and this really keeps me grounded. I can literally wake up and based on previous days, because the routine is so much the same based on previous days. I could just literally write down in less than 30 seconds what we're doing for that day. It works really, really well for us. And I could show you guys how I set up that logbook if you looked at the link down below. We can flip things around very easily because I know exactly what I need to do. I love about homeschool is like my husband can say, hey, do you want to have a family day today? And I'll be like, sure, let's go. And then I, once again, can just put things together here and not miss a beat. How do you keep your child engaged and motivated during lessons? Well, one, making sure that I'm as present as I expect my child to be. So I don't have my cell phone in my hand. I'm not like doing social media. Something that helps is I think being strategic when you're teaching. So we keep the lessons short. We keep the lessons like maybe 15 minutes a lesson. I have like a little timer that I turn so that if I need it or if they need it, they can visually see. I also like to tackle out of school during our meal times because not dinner, but like breakfast and lunch is great. Your children are sitting down, they're eating, they have a snack. Sometimes we'll have tea time and we'll all just like cuddle around with a snack and I'll read a lot of praise, a lot of encouragement, and a lot of encouraging them it's okay for something to be hard. You know, I don't want my children to find something hard and want to give up. We had this joke, if I feed you mashed bananas every day, is your jaw ever going to get stronger? Like is your muscles in your mouth ever going to get stronger? You're just going to be eating mashed bananas because it's easy. I think when they understand that, then they understand it's okay for things to be hard. We want things to be hard because that's how we grow. Do you have any tips for balancing homeschool work with other family responsibilities? Well, we do a lot of things together. We do our chores before we start school, so that always makes sure that we start off on a good foot. You know, the house is pretty much set before we start, and then after every single meal, the kids clean up. So I think that's really helpful. What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced with homeschooling and how did you overcome them? It's funny, but the biggest challenges with homeschool that I have encountered were me. It was getting myself into a realistic mindset of how children learn. You know, not expecting the right answer the first time, not expecting an answer the way that I would say it, not expecting us to get everything done that I had planned in a day. Once I've understood from other homeschool moms that I've surrounded myself with that you can't get everything done. You're not trying to create the smartest child in the world. You're trying to create a child that has a love of learning. There will never be the smartest child in the world, but what there can be is a child who loves learning and will continue to learn for the rest of their lives. And so I think once I took the pressure off of teach your kid everything, they need to be perfect, they need to know everything, like you need to be perfect. And once I just realized, hey, I'm trying to give my child a love of learning so that they never stop learning and they are enthusiastic about life all throughout their life. That's when I realized, okay, if I'm, doing this all day, they're not going to be this beautiful sunflower that grows. They're going to be pounded into the soil and they're probably going to wilt. So we need to do a little bit more of this, a little more, you got this. That's how I overcame it, surrounding myself with like-minded moms that were ahead of me, that kind of knew these things and had overcome them themselves and saw the bigger picture than us first-time homeschool moms who are just like, I'm failing, I didn't do anything, we missed this, we missed that. I've said this in one of my recent blog posts. It's like, if your child doesn't do something that's demanded of them, that's not going to destroy their life, And so I think it's just, the mother needs to be very level-headed in order for these challenges not to be challenges. How do you incorporate hands-on learning or field trips into your homeschool routine? I found myself like a private community of moms where we do a lot of fun things together. And so once a week, we do, creeks, public speaking events. We're going to be doing Market Mondays in museums. We've made maple syrup together. We've done all these different things. And so I really recommend finding a community, and that's been really, really fun for us. Science centers, all these different types of things. A lot of my hands-on learning for the kids, I think, just comes from bringing them into everyday life, bringing them to the grocery store. When we go to fairs, having them order the popcorn, letting them engage with others in respectful ways. What resources or communities have been helpful for you as a homeschool parent? So I'm so thankful for mamas on YouTube that do Charlotte Mason content and just kind of summarize for some busy mamas who don't have time to do all the reading. Charlotte Mason Motherhood is a favorite. I love Simply Charlotte Mason. Amazing YouTube channel. Just moms in general that are sharing have been my biggest resources. How do you ensure your kids get enough socialization and interaction with peers while being homeschooled? First of all, one thing I love about having 5 children is a huge chunk of the socialization is happening at home. They're learning together with their best friends, their siblings. I think homeschoolers socialize more than people think because we do have that community of moms and homeschoolers. We literally have access to anything and everything while everyone else is at school. That's one of my favorite things. So we do a lot of socializing with friends and just out in the real world during real life hours. My kids are also in extracurricular activities outside of home, which is awesome because they're socializing even with kids that are in public school, because they're not going to just be friends with homeschoolers all their life, but they have a really great balance of all different types of people, and it allows us to have good conversations with them about people who may align with our beliefs and our values, and then people that may not. And that's how the real world is, how to navigate and socialize with people that don't just look like them as well. So I think that we're really blessed to have had that opportunity. One thing that's also cool about the mom community that I'm in is that between the 12 of us, there's probably 50 children. I don't know, feels like it. There's a ton of kids, and they range from all ages, from teens to tiny babies. How do you approach teaching subjects that are more difficult for your child? Making difficulty something not to be feared. Of course, I've heard, this is so hard. Sorry, my phone died. But yes, this is hard. We want it to be hard. If we only do easy things, we'll never grow. So I think making sure that they know we want hard things. Hard things is what makes us grow. And doing hard things makes us get better where they're not hard anymore. And then two, a lot of times I think we as parents, especially if you're like, no, we need to get this done, might be like forcing a child to keep working hard on something that's hard for them. But I think shortening the lessons builds a huge amount of confidence. Say there's a subject like math and a child's having a hard time. Say they're really defeated and like they don't like it. I think with encouragement and then cutting the lesson a little short, like say they do 4 questions and you can tell they're like, oh, wow, I got this. End the lesson on a good note. We don't want to leave every lesson with them being defeated just so we can check a box and say, yay, we finished math today. End that lesson. And the more you do it, the more confidence that you'll have that you don't need to get everything done in a day. Because who cares about getting stuff done and checking boxes if your child isn't truly developing that mindset for a love of learning? Who cares? You could check boxes all day. If they don't love learning, have you really done your job? That's the key. That's the key, is to love learning. They may not love math. They may not love history. They may not love science. But if they love learning, they will never be able to not learn whatever they do love, or even those things they don't. I think my advice to somebody new to homeschooling would be, you can do it. I think I would also just encourage them and say, there's no one better fit to teach your child than you. And it could be really intimidating. And, you could look at the school system and just be like, how can I replicate this? But it was not meant to be replicated. The whole point is to do what's best for your child. You can expose your child to things that work better for him. And I mean, you can take comfort in, wow, if my child was in school, which again, I'm not trying to be, there's nothing wrong with that, but if your child was in school, they'd be basically doing what's best for everyone instead of what's best for him or her. And so I would just encourage you, surround yourself with mom friends that have been doing this longer. Don't be discouraged. Every year is easier. Find the balance between having a plan, but being able to go with the flow and being able to read your child. Have goals, but be okay with not accomplishing them all, because as you're teaching your child to learn to love, they literally have a lifetime to do it. Do not freak out if your child doesn't learn something. Do not freak out if you forgot to teach something. Do not freak out if something is out of your control. Make it your goal to just give your child a love for learning and to treasure this time with their own mother teaching them. They will literally have the rest of their lives to learn anything you may have missed, which we will all miss. Thank you guys so much for coming to my video. I will link all of my homeschool related blog posts and videos down below. I would just love to know how many children you have, what curriculum you're doing, and any questions you might have, and maybe I'll add that to a future video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.